Hey guys, it's Lee Taylor. That's the 2022 BMW 430i Grand Coupe, and this is a Right Lane Reviews Quick Shift. We've been pretty lucky to have plenty of BMWs here on the RLR channel, and the 430 in front of us is pretty similar to all of them, right? But there are some key differences. One is being the 2 extra doors behind the seamless front doors and the nice big hatch out back, making this 4 Series a bit more practical than the standard coupe. Underneath though, it's pretty much the same as any other 4 Series or 3 Series, being the 430i, but this car has the M Sport Plus package, which gives us a few more features we'll talk about later. But first, let's jump inside. So how's the 430 out on the road? Well, it is a typical modern BMW platform, so it feels like a sportier version of the 3 Series sedan and a more practical version of the 420 coupe. So it feels really good in the hand. Now previously we've had the 30i and the 530i, and we also had the 420i coupe, which was the same 2-liter engine, family of engines that shared between the two. In this 430i, it's that same 2-liter making 183 kilowatts and 400 newton meters of torque going through an 8-speed gearbox and powering the rear wheels. And it's not a slow vehicle. With launch control, you can get this car to do a 0 to 100 time of about 6.2, which I fully believe. I did it earlier this week and it felt great. Also took this car out on quite a few long drives this week, and it was lovely to be in. It's a great car, grand touring machine. It's comfortable. The Driver Assistance Pro technology allows you to kind of set where you want to go, and it follows the lanes. It's just a nice place to be. All your normal safety kit, blind spot monitors. Despite having this sleek coupe-like roof, you can actually see out of it reasonably well. The back aperture is a bit smaller, but it's not terrible. And all the park tech and the surround view cameras and 3D views mean that you can see anything and everything you want to see, which makes the car very livable. Now dynamically, this car is a little bit of a step up from the old Grand Coupe, if you will. That it was never a proper M-Performance Grand Coupe until now with the M440, which is a tier above this car. But this 430 M Sport has the M Sport Plus package, which means we have adaptive dampers, an active rear differential, and a little bit more of a driver's edge, if you will. We have 4 basic modes: Sport, Comfort, Eco Pro, and Adaptive. Sport does what Sport does, but you also have a Sport Plus setting in that, which means you can sharpen everything up a little bit more, and it's actually a nice drive mode. It's my preferred drive mode. Comfort's pretty balanced. Eco Pro is that more economical setting, kind of dulls everything down, kind of coaches you with the display on how to drive a bit more efficiently. And then Adaptive, and the technology for Adaptive is one of those technologies that several brands are playing with, and it's just not quite there yet. It kind of adjusts depending on the road ahead and everything going around, and it does an okay job with the dampers, but everything else is just a bit meh. So for me, I keep it in Comfort because it glides along beautifully until I get out into a back road, in which case it pops directly into Sport Plus and I have a bit of fun. And really, if you want a car that gives you that grand touring edge along with a sport sharpness in the chassis, the 430 Grand Coupe gives you a really nice balance. They're also going to have a Grand Coupe soon that's all electric in the i4, and that platform and body shell is shared with this car, and that's going to be really cool. We really love the iX3 we had, and the i4 is kind of the next generation, next step forward. So I'm really looking forward to having that car, because if this is to, I'm really looking forward to that car, because if I'm basing the performance and the expectation of the i4 off of this platform, it's going to be a pretty good car. And this is going to be the new interior as well, so that's going to be really beautiful, so stick around the channel for that. But overall, this is another great iteration of the platform from BMW, and if you want something a bit sleeker, a bit more sporty than the normal 3 Series sedan that every other executive drives, definitely go give these a little bit of a look. Great car to be in. Once once you're on the inside of the 430i, you realize it's pretty typical BMW in here. It's the same family design elements of every other BMW that we've had so far. Same digital dash, heads-up display, iDrive, chunky M Sport wheel, wireless charging, all of that. You do have a couple more options in the drive modes. You have Sport, which now has Sport Plus function for launch control, we'll talk about later, and Adaptive button, which now varies which mode and what settings the car has depending on the environment that it sees itself in, if you will, and it's pretty good for the most part. My only gripe about the interior is actually getting into the interior, because the door handles, which make the side of the car look nice and clean, are quite shallow, so you grab them and they slip out of your hand, and your gut reaction is to then grab the glass to stop it from moving. So then you put smudges all over your beautiful seamless glass. So how's the back of the 430i Grand Coupe? Well, now with the Grand Coupe door, I can actually get in the back without having to contort myself around a front seat. Check out the 420i review for that bit. But once you're back here, it's pretty typical 3 Series or 4 Series. Plenty of room for my knees, great leg room, plenty of headroom despite the fact that I have a swooping body line and a sunroof to contend with. On-autumn climate, a couple USB-C points, and cup holders. So overall, another lovely place to be. One of the biggest benefits to this beautiful Grand Coupe body is this nice big hatch. It rises quietly and quickly and also automatically, typical BMW. And once it's open, you have a massive aperture to get things in and out of. On the inside, the capacity on the boot isn't that much bigger than the standard coupe, but getting into it is a lot easier. Plus, there's tons of cubbies on either side for different bits and bobs, some hooks for your shopping as well. It's just a bit more practical than standard cars. So what's my final thoughts on the 2022 BMW 430i Gran Coupe? Well, I think it gives you all the typical BMW trimmings with beautiful interior, nice quality materials, and a great drive. Plus, with the extra 2 doors and the nice big boot, it gives you a little bit more of family practicality. So if you want a car that gives you style and pizzazz, the 430i is a good option. But also remember, there's an i4 coming, and it's the same car, but electric. Oh.